Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Tough times for Elizabeth and Nathan in WCTH Season 12. Hearties may want to be prepared for some emotional stories in the upcoming WCTH Season 12. This is in reference to Elizabeth Thornton and Mountie Nathan Grant. The actors portraying this couple, Erin Krakow and Kevin McGarry, were recently part of the Hallmark Christmas Experience event in Kansas City. The stars revealed that there will be tough times ahead. Here are all the details. Hearties who are expecting an Elizabeth and Nathan wedding during WCTH Season 12 may have to temper their expectations. That is because the two stars portraying these Hope Valley characters have warned that things are not going to be so easy. According to Entertainment Now, attended the third week of the Hallmark Christmas Experience were 6 stars of the series: Erin Krakow, Chris McNally, Kevin McGarry, Viv Leacock, Pascal Hutton, and Kevin Smith, all participated in a cast panel. Firstly, Krakow shares, Nathan really is a rock for her. It sounds like she will need some of his Mountie stoicism, as she added there will be really difficult emotional stories. However, she did not reveal much more. Later, she elaborated more on the two characters, revealing that the newly minted couple will go through many challenges. However, Erin is not the only one who dished on the upcoming season. Kevin McGarry also shared more. His revelation shows that things could get sketchy, but he started with basking in their romance. Erin Krakow interjected a bit more information about the couple and warns fans of Elizabeth's difficult journey. When is the premiere of WCTH Season 12? The premiere of WCTH Season 12 is on Sunday, January 5, at 9 p.m. Eastern, on the Hallmark Channel. In addition, this new episode and all of When Calls the Heart Season 12 will be available to stream the next day on the rebranded streaming channel, Hallmark Plus. Lastly, Peacock subscribers can also watch each new Season 12 episode up to 72 hours after the premiere. The crisp Hope Valley air carried the first hint of autumn, painting the mountains in shades of gold and crimson. For most, it was a season of cozy evenings and harvest festivals, but for Elizabeth Thornton and Nathan Grant, it was a season of difficult truths. Elizabeth stood at her schoolhouse door that morning, watching the children spill in, their laughter ringing against the wooden walls. She smiled, but the smile didn't reach her eyes. Her heart was heavy, weighed down by the tension that had been growing between her and Nathan over the past few weeks. It wasn't about love, not exactly. The feelings they had for one another were still there, deep and undeniable. But life in Hope Valley had a way of throwing challenges at people who least expected them, and for Elizabeth and Nathan, those challenges seemed to be coming all at once. A rift begins. It started with the Mountie work. Nathan had been called away more often than usual, patrolling dangerous areas near the mines and along the trade route. His absences had grown longer, his returns quieter. He would step into the row house late at night, his uniform dusty, his eyes shadowed, and when Elizabeth would ask if he was all right, his answers were short. The truth was, Nathan was carrying burdens he didn't want to share, details of cases that put lives in danger, including his own. And though Elizabeth knew the Mountie life carried risk, the thought of losing another man she loved to duty made her chest tighten. She found herself pulling back without realizing it, afraid of getting too close, just as she had with Jack all those years ago. Nathan noticed, but rather than confronting her, he let the distance grow, convincing himself it was for the best. The schoolhouse conflict. Then came the disagreement about little Jack. Elizabeth had asked Nathan for advice on teaching her son about courage and responsibility. Nathan, meaning well, suggested taking Jack along to watch a Mountie training drill. But when Jack came home wide-eyed, repeating stories of arrests and danger, Elizabeth felt a side of things. Nathan, she said one evening, her voice trembling. He's too young. I don't want him. I can't lose him to this life. Nathan, hurt, set his jaw. Elizabeth, I'm just trying to teach him the truth. The world isn't always safe. If we pretend it is, we're not preparing him. The argument ended with silence, both of them turning away, the air between them colder than the autumn wind outside. Friends begin to notice. Rosemary, never one to miss a shift in the emotional weather, noticed almost immediately. She cornered Elizabeth in the mercantile one afternoon, leaning on the counter with that knowing expression. "You and Nathan haven't been seen walking together in weeks," she said, lowering her voice. "Is everything all right?" Elizabeth hesitated, fiddling with a jar of buttons. "We're fine, just busy." Rosemary raised an eyebrow. "Busy doesn't explain the way you avoid each other's eyes." Though Rosemary's words came from a place of care, they lingered in Elizabeth's mind long after she left. A turning point in the storm. The real turning point came during the Hope Valley Harvest Festival. Nathan had promised little Jack he would help carve pumpkins, but when a call came from Fort Clay about a missing shipment of medical supplies, Nathan rode out without a goodbye. The festival went on without him. Elizabeth found herself stirring cider at the refreshment table, trying not to let Jack see her disappointment. But inside, her frustration reached a breaking point. When Nathan returned that evening, long after the festival had ended, she was waiting on the porch. "You keep saying we're building a life together," she said, her voice steady but edged with pain. "But how can we if you're never here? If you're always halfway gone?" Nathan's eyes softened, but he didn't step closer. "Elizabeth, this is who I am. I can't turn away when people need me. And I can't keep living like I'm waiting for the next goodbye," she whispered. They stood in silence, the lantern between them casting shadows on the porch boards. The distance felt wider than it had ever been. Advice from unexpected places. It was Bill Avery, of all people, who gave Nathan the nudge he needed. Sitting over coffee at the saloon, Bill didn't mince words. "You can't protect her from the Mountie life by shutting her out, Nathan. She's stronger than you think. But if you keep letting your fear speak for you, you're going to lose her." Nathan didn't answer, but the words hit their mark. Facing the truth. That Sunday after church, Nathan found Elizabeth at the schoolhouse, tidying the desks. The children's drawings of autumn leaves still hung in the windows. "I've been afraid," Nathan admitted, leaning against the doorway. "Afraid that if I let you see the worst parts of my work, you'll walk away." Elizabeth turned slowly to face him. "And I've been afraid that if I let myself love you completely, I'll lose you, like I lost Jack." For a long moment, they just stood there, the truth between them finally spoken aloud. "I can't promise you I'll always come home unhurt," Nathan said, his voice low. "But I can promise I'll always come home to you if it's in my power to do so." Elizabeth's eyes glistened. "And I can promise not to shut you out when I'm scared. But you have to meet me halfway, Nathan." A new understanding. It didn't fix everything that day. Love, they both knew, wasn't a quick repair job, it was a daily choice. But as they walked back into town side by side, their shoulders brushed, and that small connection felt like the first step back toward each other. Rosemary, watching from the dress shop window, smiled knowingly. "Tough times," she murmured to herself, "don't always mean the end. Sometimes they just mean you've got to fight for what matters." And in Hope Valley, where faith and perseverance were as much a part of life as the changing seasons, fighting for what mattered was something everyone understood.